Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Oh, here's one for you that we have never aired, I don't believe. Smilin Ed's Buster Brown Gang, sponsored by Buster Brown Shoes. Yes, there used to be Buster Brown shoe stores, or there used to be shoe stores that just sold Buster Brown and for kids and sold things for adults. Anyway, Smilin Ed's Buster Brown Gang, just perfect for this time of year. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, going back to October 25th, 1952.
Hey, kids! It's the Buster Brown Show!
Katrina, now I will not take no for an answer. You are going to marry with me?
Oh, Bram, you are so masterful. I will marry you.
Good.
Bram, I wonder what did happen to Ichabod Crane.
Eh? The schoolmaster? Oh, forget about it.
Some people say he met the headless horseman, and they even say the horseman threw his head at Ichabod.
No. Do they say that?
Kids, don't miss this exciting Halloween story of Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman. And to tell it, here is Smilin Ed McConnell.
Yes, kids, you'd better come running. It's old Smilin Ed and his Buster Brown Gang. I got shoes, you've got shoes, everybody's got to have shoes. But there's only one kind of shoes for me. Good old Yes, sir, kids, Buster Brown's on the air out here in Hollywood with Smilin Ed, Squeaky the Mouse, Midnight the Cat, and Froggy the Gremlin. And here we go right this minute with our story. Well, buddies, today Smilin Ed's going to tell you a famous ghost story written by Washington Irving. Yes, because Halloween's only a couple of days away, I'm going to tell you the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Now, Sleepy Hollow was a drowsy piece of farm country near a village called Tarrytown. The country was settled by hard-working Dutch farmers. However, one of the people in Sleepy Hollow was not a Dutch farmer, and that person was one Ichabod Crane, a school teacher who came from Connecticut. As our story begins, Ichabod Crane was preparing to go to a party and was busily engaged in saddling his cranky old horse named Gunpowder.
Now, Gunpowder, let's be reasonable. Here, after all, Gunpowder, saddle is quite necessary. And now then, phew. Well, saddle and bridle is on. That at least is accomplished. Gunpowder, you are an ancient, ill-tempered brute. But you're going to carry me to the Van Tassel's house, whether you like it or not. Yeah. And there I will see the fair Katrina Van Tassel. Gunpowder, she is plump and pretty. And her father, he's the wealthiest farmer in Sleepy Hollow. Now, Gunpowder, quiet down. Yes. Soon I hope I shall marry the beautiful Katrina. And then my life will be happy. I will be well-fed and wealthy. And I shall ride a fine trotting mare, and not a flea-bitten old plow horse like you. Why, no, Gunpowder, please, Gunpowder, be reasonable. Now stand still until I get up on you.
And so Ichabod Crane mounted his cranky, unmanageable old horse and rode to the party. And what a sight he was. Ichabod was tall and very, very skinny. His long arms and legs dangled, and he had a tiny little head that was flat on top with huge ears and big green glassy-looking eyes. His long tailcoat floated out behind, and riding on the bony old horse, they looked just like a pair of strange scarecrows escaped from some farmer's cornfield. However, he got to the party at the Van Tassels and immediately asked the pretty daughter Katrina to dance with him.
Katrina, when I dance with you, I'm in heaven.
Better you should be in our parlor, Mynheer Crane. Oh, again we bumped some other people.
Oh, I'm sorry, my dear. Did not notice where we were dancing. Katrina, you are so beautiful.
Yeah, my papa says I am as pretty as a prize squash.
Oh, now much prettier. Katrina, I hope someday to marry you.
So? Also does Brom van Brunt wish to marry with me.
Oh?
And he is young and very strong and handsome.
Oh, Posh. He's a headstrong, reckless daredevil lad. That's what he is.
Is that not enough, perhaps? He is very interesting, Herr Crane.
Yeah, true, perhaps. But now I'm a man of letters. I'm a student and a teacher. And I have knowledge. Is that not better than just the mere strength of the arm?
Well, perhaps. So the dance is ended. Go, Ichabod. There at the fireplace are the men gathered to tell stories.
Oh.
There is my father and Brom van Brood.
Yeah.
And look, even old Mother Vanderveer is there. She is sure to tell a story of some ghost she has seen.
Very well. If you tell me to, I shall join them. But I will return to you in a little while.
And so Ichabod, who would rather have continued to dance with the lovely Katrina Van Tassel, went over to the fire where a little group of people were seated. There was Brom Van Brunt, or Brom Bones, as the folks called him, because he was such a powerful young man. Brom Bones was Ichabod's rival for the love of the pretty Katrina. And there was old Mother Vanderveer, and there was Baltus Van Tassel, father of Katrina, and of course their conversation was of ghosts and witches. For the folks of Sleepy Hollow were very superstitious, and they believed in spirits.
Ach, mynheers, it was a bad day for us when Major Andre was captured and killed in the war a few years gone.
Eh? Major Andre? Who's he?
This one does not know of Major Andre. Tell him, Baltus.
Yeah. Well, Major Andre was a brave soldier. He was captured under the great tulip tree in the middle of the road down in the hollow.
Yeah.
Why, I know that tree. In fact, I ride under it every evening.
Oh, beware, young man. From that very tree, Major Andre was hung to his death. Oh, now, ghostly funeral processions file under the tree in the dark of night.
They do?
Yeah.
But tell me, who are the people in the processions?
Oh, some say they are soldiers killed in battle, and some say they are others of his friends. What matters who they are? Each one is a spirit returned from the dead. Beware!
Tell me, schoolmaster, are you afraid of a spirit?
Afraid of a spirit? Bones? Why? No, not afraid exactly.
Schoolmaster, I think you are afraid of a spirit. And something tells me you are going to meet one of our Sleepy Hollow spirits soon.
Oh, yes, I know you're going to like the story of Sleepy Hollow. And we'll get on with it in a minute.
From October 25th, 1952, Smilin Ed's Buster Brown Gang on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you can get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that's MediShare. You get both. The typical family saves $500 a month switching to MediShare. And that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. It's because MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge PPO network, so yeah, really, you could save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. If you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number you need. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Interestingly enough, Buster Brown shoes are no longer the predominant brand today that they were back in the 50s, 60s, even in the 70s and 80s. But there are still some Buster Brown shoe stores, primarily in the Atlanta area. Check your local malls. There may be one there, too. Now more of the Smilin Ed Buster Brown Gang from October 25th, 1952.
Well, when Ichabod Crane, the schoolmaster, went to a big party at the Van Tassels, he had a wonderful time dancing with pretty Katrina Van Tassel, but then he joined a group at the fireplace who were telling ghost stories. And when the dashing young Brom Van Brunt, known to his intimates as Brom Bones, told the story of the brave soldier who was captured under the tulip tree in Sleepy Hollow and hanged from a limb of the tree, and how ghostly processions filed under the tree in the dark of night, Ichabod Crane was frightened, and the other guests laughed at him. It was then that old Grandmother Vanderveer said,
I hope if the schoolmaster is to meet a ghost, it is not the spirit of the woman in white.
Who is the woman in white, Mother Vanderveer?
Ah, here is one who has never heard of the woman in white.
No. Tell me about her.
Oh, it's a sad, sad tale, Mynheer Crane.
Oh?
The poor thing was turned out of her house.
No.
Some say it was her father. Some say a cruel husband turned her out. But it was terribly cold, cold night, and a great blizzard was blowing.
Why, she must have frozen.
Yeah, froze to death in the snow. Her body was found in the dark glen near Raven Rock.
And now she's a haunt?
Yeah, a haunt of the worst kind. I have heard her terrible shrieks and cries on a cold winter night. And always after her screams are heard, comes a terrible storm.
Oh my. Blast my timbers. Are you sure of this, Mother Vanderveer?
Yeah, very sure. And now her spirit wanders through the dark glen, calling terrible storms and death down upon Sleepy Hollow.
I think I'd better leave the fire. Yes. I'm getting warm. That is, I've heard enough of the ghost stories for one evening.
Oh, just a minute, schoolmaster. I will tell my story.
Oh?
You're new here. How do you expect to protect yourself from the ghosts of Sleepy Hollow if you don't know about them?
Oh, well, Brom Bones, you see, I don't believe...
You don't believe?
No.
Well, my story is about the real legend of Sleepy Hollow. The Headless Horseman.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The spirit of a Hessian soldier. His head was cut off in battle.
You say?
And now he rides the roads of Sleepy Hollow, carrying his head before him, resting upon his horse's saddle. What do you think of that?
I really think I should join.
No, Mynheer Crane. Here, Brom Bones' story. Brom here had a ride with the Headless Horseman.
No. Is this true?
Yeah. But who is Brom Bones to be afraid of a headless spirit? Not me, but the head. The head of the Headless Horseman. That is what you must fear.
Oh, yeah, the head.
The head?
Why must one fear the head of the spirit?
Because the Headless Horseman will race with you. You cannot escape him. Then suddenly, the Headless One rises in his saddle, swinging his own head high in the air, and he throws it at you. Schoolmaster, beware as you ride the roads of Sleepy Hollow. Beware the head of the Headless Horseman.
But he did not hurt you, Brom Van Brunt.
But Mynheer Crane, Brom Van Brunt is a fearless young man.
True.
Brom rides a fearless horse.
Yeah.
Even a spirit hesitates when he meets Brom Bones Van Brunt.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, that is true.
I think perhaps a scholarly schoolmaster would be fair game for a bad spirit, eh?
Oh, now, please, Mother Vanderveer, don't say such things. Mynheer Brom, Why didn't the headless horseman hurt you?
Why did... Oh, it is very simple. Yeah, very simple. I was returning home from a neighboring village. As usual, I was riding my horse, Daredevil, a very fast animal. When the headless horseman appeared, I raced him.
You did?
I would have beaten him, too, except that when we reached the bridge, he vanished in a clap of thunder and a burst of flame.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Well, schoolmaster, since Katrina has promised you the last dance of the evening, this one will be mine. Katrina?
Ja, Bruce?
So, mein kleine Puppchen, my little doll, this will be our last dance, and then I must now go home.
Oh, if you must go home, Mynheer Van Brunt, why stop to dance with me? Climb upon your horse?
Eh?
I see no halter rope to hold you here.
Oh, you are learning pretty ways to make me angry, and you are learning them from the gangling schoolmaster Ichabod Crane?
Oh, I do not know. Mynheer Crane is very interesting.
So?
And he dances better than you are doing now.
Katrina, you are going to marry with me and no one else, do you hear?
Oh, perhaps. And then again, perhaps not. There is, as I have said, the Mynheer Crane. He is very smart.
Smart? After tonight, the schoolmaster Crane will smart, all right, but it will be his head that is sore.
Well, Brombones, our dance is ended. Now, do not go home angry at Mynheer Crane. The schoolmaster is a very smart gentleman.
Oh, sometime you will see who is the smart one.
And so the last dance finally over, poor Ichabod mounted his bony, funny-looking, and cranky old horse Gunpowder and rode home. The long, gangly schoolmaster rode with short stirrups, and his bony knees were nearly as high as the saddle. His elbows stuck straight out at their sides and flapped like the wings of a bird with each step of the horse. He was unhappy, which gave his homely face a doleful look. And so on he went until he found himself suddenly in the middle of Sleepy Hollow. And as suddenly, all the ghost stories he'd heard that night came to mind, and the darkness made him shiver with fear.
Gunpowder, you ungainly brute, you. Now, you watch what you're doing. Watch where you're going. You're as clumsy on your feet as a tulip tree. Oh, this is the tree where Major Andre was hung. Oh, Gunpowder. Gunpowder, come on, run, Gunpowder. Oh, you dang fool. What'd you stop so fast for? Are you afraid of an owl? Why, you might have known I'd fall off. Gunpowder. We're right by the graveyard. Now hold still till I can get on. Go on. There's nothing in that grove of trees. Or is there? Gunpowder. Why, it looks like a man on horseback. Who's there? Now, you see, there's nobody in the grove of trees. We just thought we heard some. No, it can't be. A horseman. And he's behind me, the headless horseman. Oh, Gunpowder. If you ever ran, run now. Get up there. Get up. Oh, run, Gunpowder. The bridge is just ahead, Gunpowder. Yes, the headless horseman can't cross it. He'll vanish in flame and thunder. He did cross it. He's going to throw his head at me. Now,
Katrina. Now, I will not take no for an answer. You are going to marry with me.
Oh, Brom, you are so masterful. I will marry with you.
Good.
Brom, I wonder what did happen to Ichabod Crane.
Eh? The schoolmaster?
Yeah.
Oh, forget about it.
Some people say he met the headless horseman. They even say the horseman threw his head at Ichabod.
No. Do they say that?
Yeah. But the next day when the men went to look, all they found were the tracks of 2 running horses. And a broken pumpkin lying in the road.
A pumpkin, eh? Then perhaps the headless horseman had a pumpkin head after all.
Brom Van Brunt, I think you know more about what happened to Ichabod Crane than you admit. Do you?
Oh, my little Katrina. If I do know what happened to Ichabod Crane, be sure that I will never tell a soul.
Oh, I knew you'd like that story.
Oh, Himmel, yeah. That was a good story.
Oh,
no?
my goodness, kids, it's Mr. Traveler, the great explorer.
Yeah, no, hello, kids.
Well, what have you got for us today, Mr. Traveler?
Well, today I'm going to tell the little kidlets about my trip to Holland. Yeah.
Oh, your trip to Holland.
No.
Hey, that should be very interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Well, just sit down over there.
And the conclusion of Smilin Ed's Buster Brown Gang, October 25th, 1952, in Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox returns in a moment. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Smilin Ed's Buster Brown Gang, October 25th, 1952.
Well, now I tell you about my trip.
Oh, Mr. Traveler, that applause wasn't for you.
No?
And before you start,
what?
I want to make Froggy become visible so the kids can see him. You know, Mr. Traveler, since they made a rubber doll just 8 inches high that looks like Froggy and sticks his tongue out just like he does, he's so puffed up he wants to be visible all the time.
You say there is a doll in the stores that looks just like him?
That's right. And when you squeeze it, its tongue sticks out.
What do you know?
All the kids are telling their mothers to get him a Froggy doll for Christmas. It looks just like him. Now you watch. Plunk your magic clanger, Froggy. Hiya, kid, hiya. You see, Mr. Traveler? You see him stick his tongue out?
Yeah.
Well, go right ahead with your lecture now, Mr. Traveler.
Oh, thank you, Smiling Ed. Well, today, kids, I want to tell you about my trip to Holland. You know, Holland is a lovely country full with windmills.
And windbags.
Yeah, windmills and windbags. No, look, there ain't any windbags in Holland.
Since you left.
That's right. I was the only windbag in Holland. No! I'm not a windbag. Quiet, you dumb cop, you. Look, stop mixing me up with the wrong words yet. Now, kids, as soon as I go to Holland, I get me some wooden shoes.
Go with your wooden head.
Yeah, absolutely. Wooden shoes to go with my wooden head. Yeah. No, Louis, will you keep my mouth shut, you? Look, I haven't got the wooden head. Look, there's only one problem with wooden shoes.
You get splinters in your feet.
Yeah, you get splinters in your feet, so you took a needle when you pull the slivers out. Yeah. No. Oh, that ain't what I mean to say. Oh, what can I do with myself? Please stop interrupting me with the foolishment. Oh, you make me so mad, you. Look, the wooden shoes are made with wood from the fir trees.
People like fuzzy shoes.
Oh, absolutely. They love the fuzzy shoes made from the fir trees. No! Louis, what schnitzel and crumble you are. Look, you are making me give me nonsense out yet. Oh, stop or I'll slap myself in your face. That's what I'll do. Now, look, kids, please. The Dutch people live in Holland. So as soon as you are arriving in Holland...
You're in Dutch.
Yeah, you are in Dutch just as soon as you get in Holland. Louis! Look, kids, please. The farmers in Holland who make cheese live in little cottages.
Cottage cheese.
Absolutely. They make the cottage cheese in the cottages. Yeah. No! Oh, stop it! You're confusing me in the speech yet. Oh, you. Now, kids, please, the Dutch farmers, what make the cheese, they call that cheese head cheese. In order to make good head cheese...
You gotta be a cheese head.
That's right, you gotta be a cheese head. No! Look, they call it head cheese.
That's 'cause it's made out of pig's feet.
Pig's feet, yeah. No! Quiet! Please, Dummkopf, I got you little pieces yet. Look, please, they have canals in Holland. And when the cheese is made, they take the cheese and they send it down with the canals. And then they stack the cheese on the barge.
Then they sink the barge.
Certainly, absolutely. For once you are right. They sink the barge, yeah. No! Look, they take the cheese and they load it on the boat.
Then they jump in the canal.
Yeah, positively, exactly. They jump in the canal with their arms full of cheese. No! Look, I'm talking about the cheese.
And crackers.
Sure, the cheese and the crackers. No! You make me so mad. Let me out of this crazy house.
Oh, my poor old Mr. Traveler. Now, kids, here's the kind of story we're going to have next Saturday on the radio. Oh, my kids, don't miss our story next Saturday when Gunga the East Indian boy gets mixed up with a snake charmer. Just what Smilin' Ed's gang like. About as much as they like Buster Brown's shoes. You betcha. The shoes that show we're real members of old Smilin' Ed's gang. And now, has everybody had fun around here today, huh? Well, that's wonderful, buddies. Don't forget church or Sunday school now and be listening next Saturday. When you hear, "Hi, kids, come a-running." The happy gang of Buster Brown now in the air.
Smilin' Ed's gang, starring Smilin' Ed McConnell, is brought to you every Saturday morning by Buster Brown dealers everywhere. Smilin' Ed's gang was produced in Hollywood by Frank Barrett.
The happy gang of Buster Brown now in the air. The happy gang of Buster Brown now in the air.
October 25th, 1952, Smilin' Ed's Buster Brown Gang here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Alrighty, we go from Smilin' Ed to Claudia, an episode of the soap opera from October 25th, 1948 here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
And now, Claudia.
Miss Warren says Matthew be down to the barn. Now, look here, you two young people. When you get with Matthew, let me handle the talking.
Mr. Tucker, I bow to your superior knowledge of cows.
Now, we ain't going to mention cows.
But cows, Mr. Tucker, is why we're here.
Yes, what would you suggest that we talk about? The weather?
Weather? Yeah, weather's always pretty safe to talk about in the trade. Can't buy the weather, and another fella can't sell it to you. Perfectly safe. In chess, you might call talking about the weather an opening gambit.
Well, if we want to buy a cow, I don't see why we don't just come right out with it. That'd be the honest thing to do.
What's honesty got to do with buying a cow?
Well, I hope it's got no little to do with buying this one.
Look here. I suppose you two would just go right in on Matt Warren and say, Mr. Warren, we want to buy a cow.
But that is what we want.
You'd never buy one. That would put all the wanting onto one side. What you got to do is make Warren want to sell you a cow. And the more he wants, the more reluctant you be.
It seems so complicated.
Of course it's complicated. What fun would it be if it wasn't complicated? Look here, Mr. Norton, you be a right knowing sort of feller.
No, thank you, Mr. Tucker.
Well, learn your wife something about Yankee trading. It's man's business anyhow. Women ain't no good at it. But Jared Tucker's good at it. Ain't nobody no better trading than Jared Tucker.
Let the old man run the show,
Don. Howdy, Matt Warren. Jared Tucker here.
David Norton here, too.
David Norton's wife here, too.
Howdy, folks. Just finished milking and be right with you.
We was just passing along by the road, and I says to the Nortons, I says, Matt Warren's probably milking. It being milking times. How's we mosey over and say howdy? Howdy.
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 I was just saying to the Nortons, looks like we might get some weather.
The weather, like the poor, is always with us.
Yeah, we might.
There's ring around the moon on the last full.
Too much rain when we didn't need it, and then not enough when we did.
In a normal year, we'd had a fine cutting a rowing. This year, it was so measly, 'twasn't worth wetting the side of handle.
What's rowing?
Last cutting. Full of nutrient is. Just
chock full of protein.
Cows go to it like bees to honey.
Mind how he was the first to talk about cows?
What'd you say, Jerry?
I says like bees to honey, like bees to honey.
That's right. Feed round to milking cows, and they give down milk by the pailful.
Speaking of cows, like you just was, Matthew, how many you got now?
15.
15 cows. Whew. Sight of cows, yes, sir, sight of cows.
It's a wonderful sight of cows, Mr. Warren, all standing in a row
like cows. You start praising them, and Matthew will have them priced out of all reason. I'm right sorry, Matthew, right sorry that you're feed short this year. Short for all of us,
Look here, Mr. Warren, I've got
got same idea, too. Yes, sir, same idea. Times come hard. We got to cut our suit the measure of our cloth, yep. You got enough hay for 14 cows, then you keep 14 and sell one.
You got something in mind, Jared?
Oh, nary thing. I was just, generalizing, Matthew.
You be the kind of man, Jared, that seldom generalizes without self-interest. You aiming to buy a cow?
What would I be doing with another cow, Matthew?
Oh, look, Mr. Warren, we've got in our barn.
Matthew, these two young people be so generous and open-handed, they'd probably offer to give you their hay.
Well, that'd be right generous, but I'm afraid it wouldn't help me none. The way I see it, I got enough hay for 12 cows, and being as I got 15, your little would help, but it wouldn't help enough.
Matthew, I got a sudden idea.
Slow or sudden. Your ideas are always expensive to the other fella.
Well,
what you got in mind?
Well, I got in mind that a little trading is in order.
What you got to trade, Jared?
Advice, Matthew, and maybe a little something more.
I'll do without the advice. What's the something more?
The advice you'll get for free.
I was afraid of that.
Miss Norton, you got a young'un over to your place?
Bobby, yes.
A young tyke that likes to drink a passel of milk, I'll warrant. Milk's expensive as all get out, too. More'n that, in the country, a kid ought to sort of get to know the cow as feeds him.
Well, I don't think Bobby's old enough to...
He'll be old enough soon enough. Besides, you be good neighbors, and what kind of neighbors would you be if you wouldn't put yourselves out to help old Matthew Warren?
Now, look, it ain't their help I'm a-worrying about. Thank you all the same, Mr. and Mrs. Norton. It's your help, Jared, that I really worry for.
Me? I ain't in this stall.
No, not so as I can see yet. But you will be before we're done.
Matthew, you're an untrusting sort of man. Now, we've traded before.
That's what I'm a-remembering of. Now, let's say, just for the sake of argument, mind you, that I might do some selling the cows.
Just for the sake of argument, let's say.
Hypothetically, Mr. Norton, if you was interested in cows, how many cows would you be interested in?
Well, we thought...
We were thinking of just one cow.
Just one?
Just one.
Just one. Jared, your idea's no good. The Nortons buy one cow, I got 14, and food for 12. Now, we've got to have a better solution than that, Jared.
I'm thinking, Miss Norton, you sure you wouldn't be able to use 3 cows?
Oh, I'm not too sure we'll know what to do with one.
And anyway, we wouldn't have enough feed for the 3.
Oh, yes, not enough feed. That's fly in the ointment, Matthew. We've been talking off on a tangent. We've been talking about cows, but cows ain't your trouble. It's feed is your trouble.
Jared Eastbrook should have sent you to Congress. That's the kind of fool talking that's got this country into the mess with it.
What kind of a mess are we in?
I ain't got enough feed for my cows. That's mess enough.
And that's the fault of the Continental Congress, I suppose. Here I am trying to help you out, and you're hooting and hollering about the government.
I ain't hooting and hollering about nothing.
Yes, you be. And if you don't be fewer words, you're apt to sour my milk of human generosity.
Your milk of human generosity has been sour for years.
I'll show you how sour it be. I ain't got too much feed to spare. But if, for the sake of argument, you was to sell a cow to Mr. and Mrs. Norton, I might say, be able to scrape up enough hay for 2 cows for you.
How much?
How much what? How much hay?
Oh, I know as well as you do, Jerry Tucker, how much hay 2 cows will eat of a winter. What I want to know is how much you charge.
Oh, if you was drowning, you'd probably ask the price of straw.
I would, if you were selling the straw. We've traded before, Jared.
Well, we bein' trading now. I'm trying to do you a favor, and you're being mundane and Ely Masonary. And any hay I sell to you, I'd sell it $6 under the Boston market that day.
Fair, as far as I can see. But I'd like to see further. In your barn or mine?
You're not trading with a child, Matt. In my barn, of course.
My truck or your truck?
Your truck. Who needs this hay, you or me?
You lend me a hand with it?
At the price I'm charging? No. Wouldn't have no respect for myself if I did. But I'll tell you what I will do. Completely outside to this deal, and because we're old friends and neighbors, I'll work right alongst with you.
Well, he couldn't be more generous. Who sweetens the bargain?
The feller that wants it most. And I'm looking at him.
Your hay's good quality as mine?
Well, let me see yours.
Step right over here to the foot of the mound, and I'll show you.
All right, I'll go and take a look at it.
My head is swimming.
Mine's a little confused.
I guess we're not very good Yankees.
We're just learning the rules of the game. Those two old codgers are having a wonderful time.
Say, David, what do you mean by sweeten the bargain?
After two Yankees have reached a bargain, they begin all over again to see who sweetens it.
Sweetens with what?
In the old days, sometimes with rum.
Oh.
Just a little something extra so everybody's happy.
So they both get the taste of trading out of their mouths.
There's my difference between your hay and mine, Matt. My hay'll run better.
Well, the bargain is the Nortons buy one cow, and you sell me 4 tons of hay on the terms aforestated. If what?
If the Nortons find a cow they like, and if the cow they like's priced at the price they like. If after we've all slept on it, we still like the bargain.
Well, I'm sure that Mr. Warren and I...
Sure, yes, and I'm sure, too. Howsomever, wise men proceed in these matters cautiously.
But, Mr. Tucker...
But there ain't no buts about it. You two young'uns being sharp enough to trade with either Matt or me. Just to keep our hands in, we might trim you. Howsomever, you and Matthew are boundary neighbors. Whatever happens, you both got to be so satisfied you won't never have no sharp feelings between you.
Yeah?
David, look at the time. We'll be late for supper. Mom'll be worried.
Mrs. Norton, it's too late for more trading anyway. We'll talk about it tomorrow, neighbors.
Well, all right. Will you be coming along with us, Mr. Tucker?
Coming along with you? No, I'm afraid we talked and gabbed so long. But Matthew here's late with his chores. I guess I better stay along and lend him a hand now. I'll be seeing you two tomorrow. Good night, you two young men.
Good night.
Good night, Mr. Warren.
When I tell all this to Mama, I know it won't make one iota of sense.
First we have a cow, and then we don't. And then we'll talk about it some more tomorrow.
And they're pretending to be so sharp and shrewd and grasping, down underneath so honest and generous.
I'd hate to be still cutting my eye teeth and have to deal with either one of them alone, though.
Sort of like a game between them.
A game? Trading is their Yankee kinds of life's blood. Their bread and their meat. Trading to a Yankee is like opera to an Italian, or bullfighting to a Spaniard, tea to an Englishman, haggis to a Scotchman.
David, what is a haggis?
A haggis is a... Well, it's a...
David, look at that moon. What would it be worth your while to trade me a kiss?
Why, you little Yankee, you.
You can't keep at any job hour after hour and give it your best effort, whether it's housework, shop, office, or factory work. An occasional pause is bound to be relaxing, especially if that pause includes ice-cold Coca-Cola. You'll find it's a good idea to keep a supply of Coke on ice, so that its delicious refreshment can help you work refreshed at any time.
Hi there, Mr. King. Tucker here.
Well, Mr. Tucker, good to see you. You look mighty pleased with yourself about something.
Just doing some trading. Always feel good when I'm trading.
Oh, did you and the Nortons buy a cow?
Oh, not yet. But we be in the process of. We got Matthew Warren licking his chops and drooling at his mouth.
What's the next step in the process?
Well, we just let him dangle for a day, and then when he's mite overeager, we'll go to trading.
Well, watch out you're not a mite overeager yourself.
Me? I was trading when Matthew was in short breeches. Just tag along tomorrow and you'll see some cow trading.
You're just a plain trader at heart, aren't you, Jared?
Plain trader? God dang it, son, I'm a fancy trader.
Well, I wouldn't miss it tomorrow for the world. See you then, Jared. As I was about to say, every day, Monday to Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. These broadcasts are adapted for radio by Manu Starr. The entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
Back in the day when you had glass bottles of Coke, and it wasn't just bottled in Mexico, it was bottled in communities all over America. October 25th, 1948, Claudia, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Hope you enjoy these shows. Gives you an idea that soap operas weren't just about sad and depressing things, but these were just a slice of life. Take a slice out of our webpage, classicradio.stream, because there's a lot there you can get. You can learn about classic radio collecting. You can also find all of our shows on demand. You can find a list of places where our programs are available for download via podcast. You can also find our social media links. You can find information on how to contact me, and you can also buy me a coffee. The buy me a coffee money does not buy me coffee because I don't drink coffee. But what it does do is it helps us acquire additional classic radio collections. And that buy me a coffee money is greatly appreciated. ClassicRadio.stream. Please thank this station and support their advertisers. And as always, tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.